Close your eyes for a second and picture a witch. What do you see? A woman with green skin, a long hooked nose, a tall black pointed hat, ragged black robes, and maybe even flying on a broom. But here's the shocking truth. None of those features came from real witches. So who invented the world's most recognizable witch? The answer takes us through centuries of fear, religion, folklore, Hollywood. If you had traveled back 1,000 years and met someone accused of being a witch, you probably wouldn't have recognized them. There were no pointed black hats, no glowing green skin, and no broomsticks waiting outside their homes. Many of these women were respected herbal healers. Their knowledge of plants often meant the difference between life and death. Others served as midwives, bringing new life into the world, centuries before modern medicine. Some were sought for advice, offering guidance through local traditions, folklore, and generations of shared wisdom. There was no single witch look. The image we recognize today simply didn't exist. Not yet. Everything began to change during the late Middle Ages. Across Europe, fear of witchcraft began to spread like wildfire. Rumors spread from village to village. People began believing that witches lived among them, secretly working with the devil. Soon, suspicion replaced evidence. A poor harvest, an illness, even a neighbor's bad luck could lead to an accusation. Thousands of innocent people, them women, were accused of witchcraft. Many were imprisoned, forced into confessions, or executed after deeply unfair trials. But fear wasn't spread through trials alone. It was also spread through images. Artists exaggerated every feature, making witches appear old, twisted, and terrifying. For the first time, evil was given a face. And one mysterious accessory would soon become its most famous symbol. The pointed hat may be the witch's most iconic feature, but its story begins long before witches ever wore one. So, where did the pointed hat come from? Surprisingly, historians still don't agree. One popular theory points to medieval alewives. Women who brewed and sold beer often wore tall hats so customers could spot them in crowded markets. Another theory suggests the pointed hat symbolized outsiders. Groups who looked or lived differently were sometimes marked by unusual clothing. Or perhaps the answer is simpler. Fairy tales and artists exaggerated unusual shapes because they were unforgettable. And the pointed hat became the witch's most iconic symbol. For most of history, witches weren't portrayed as green at all. That changed in 1939, when Hollywood released The Wizard of Oz, introducing a green-skinned witch to millions of viewers around the world. The filmmakers chose green to make the Wicked Witch stand out. It was a perfect way to showcase the power of Technicolor cinema. Margaret Hamilton's Wicked Witch became unforgettable. And after that, the Green Witch became the image the world knew. But the green skin wasn't the only feature that became iconic. Why did witches almost always have a long, hooked nose? For centuries, artists needed villains to be instantly recognizable, so they exaggerated every feature they thought looked unsettling. The hooked nose came to symbolize age, wickedness, and deceit, even though it had no connection to real witches. The same exaggerated features were sometimes used to mock and dehumanize real people, reminding us that prejudice can shape the stories we tell. One final piece completed the witch's appearance: the long black robes that came to symbolize darkness itself. In medieval Europe, black often symbolized mourning, the unknown, and death. It was the perfect color for stories meant to inspire fear. Storytellers and artists embraced that symbolism. Dress the witch in black, and audiences instantly knew she was the villain. Soon, black robes, torn fabric, and long cloaks became part of the witch's look, because storytellers wanted audiences to recognize them instantly. A crooked nose and a dramatic black cloak. Apparently, storytellers thought she needed one more upgrade: suspiciously pointy shoes. But here's the funny thing: pointed shoes were never actually a witch tradition. They were just another way artists made witches look, well, extra witchy. Once the artists started exaggerating everything, the witch went from ordinary to a walking collection of sharp edges. And once the look was complete, the pointed shoes became just another piece of the witch's costume. A little strange, a little dramatic, and impossible to forget. Today, the witch means different things to different people. In stories, witches can be heroes, healers, villains, or dark practitioners of magic. And outside of fiction, some people today genuinely identify as witches, but they probably don't look anything like the witch in your imagination. Many follow modern spiritual paths. For them, being a witch is about personal belief, not the myths of old fairy tales. Most don't claim to cast spells or fly on broomsticks. Instead, they see witchcraft as a personal, spiritual, or religious practice, far removed from the frightening image history created. Of course, throughout history, some people did practice forms of folk magic, divination, and rituals, but many others accused of witchcraft had done nothing at all. So the next time you picture a witch, remember, you're not seeing history. You're seeing centuries of storytelling. And that's how the witch we know today came to wear pointed hats, have hooked noses, and green skin. And join me as we uncover the next hidden story from history.